Over the last couple of days, this place has just taken off. It's just gone whoosh. But I don't want to be giving people advice. I'm not really in a position to do so. I'm reading all the comments that I've got over the last couple of days. Advice seems to be very do this, don't do this. And I don't really think that that's as black and white as that. I think each individual has their own little set of circumstances, and there's no hard and fast advice that is literally do, don't do. It's going to help people sometimes. We have to apply lots of different things and see what works for us in our own life. Therefore, I think the best thing for me to do is just do what I was doing before and just look at life from my point of view. I can tell you what my experiences are, how it's made me feel, and what I intend to do about it. And if people can take something from that, that's a positive, I guess. But I don't want to sit here and literally give advice, if that makes sense. I don't want to sit here and say this is what you should do, this is what you have to do, or this is what you need to do. I don't think that's it's not the world that we live in. It's not as black and white as that. There are things as individuals we know that we should do and shouldn't do, and I think realistically that's where it needs to be. I will offer my side and my version of events into the pot on various different things, but I'm not here to give advice. I'm just here to kind of document the process of things that I'm going through. If it helps people, that's good. If it doesn't help people, it's not advice, I guess. So it's not necessarily something that's designed to help people. I suppose with all this extreme explosion and growth, I should have taken the bull by the horns and make hay while the sun shines and all those other cliches. And I found myself recording videos, but it also didn't feel genuine. It felt like I was trying to scan the comments to see what was coming up quite often and like specifically make a video on that, like it was some sort of advice or purpose. And I sort of edited them all and I put them all up ready to go. And then I just sat there one night and I was like, why? That's not who I am. Don't do something because you're supposed to do it. I do what feels right. And it didn't feel right to just try and smash everything out there. You know what? It's probably going to hamper me in the long run because obviously I've had this huge influx of people who are going to watch the videos I do have. And then there's nothing new for them to watch for, another week or something. So those views will trickle out and die out. But I feel more honest and genuine doing it the way that I have been doing it. I wasn't sat here giving advice to people. I wasn't sat here trying to pick on key topics that are going to hit the algorithm or whatever. I was just out here trying to be authentic. And I think if I try and waver too far from that, I lose, by the sounds of it, the draw for people to see this place and stick around. It's very strange. I won't lie, it's very strange for this many people to sort of see something authentic in me and want to know more from the perspective of who I am. It's always felt like something that's held me back. As people have, picked on in the comments, it's like something to do with how I look or whatever else. And I know they're trolling and it's the very small minority, but they are speaking from a place that is where I felt. So it's easier to resonate with them than it is the people saying, "Oh, you've got a good voice," or you're quite handsome in this. That kind of thing isn't something I've ever really felt, so it's a bit strange. But I'm trying to do a little bit more of what would you call it, like self positivity, and just being a little less harsh to myself. But the long and short takeaway of all this is this channel isn't about giving advice to people. I find it quite ironic if I sit here and try and give advice to people. I would rather just share things, and if people can take anything from it, then that's a better way. But I would say, if you do take anything as advice that I say, don't don't look at it like you have to take everything like a blanket. I think that's something that gets lost in today's world. There's a load of people out there that say loads of different things with good advice, and they have their own sort of hate groups. And it's like, oh, I can't believe you'd follow that person. They said that about, this topic. And it's like people can't understand that actually you can agree with something somebody says, but that doesn't mean you agree with everything somebody says. I think things get really warped in today's world where it's like if you agree with one thing by default, you have to naturally agree with everything. That's not how it works. It's nothing is as black and white as today's world seems to try and force everything to be. It's really bizarre, to be fair. I grew up at a time when you kind of felt like things were very much yes or no, very much this way or that way. And as we've got older, I realized we had a lot of freedom. It might not have felt like it back then, but we have a lot of freedom. Whereas now it's like you have to pick a side. You just have to, because you're not allowed to have an opinion that doesn't. You're not allowed to like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You have to like all of one and none of the other, and there's no middle ground. I don't understand that. I really don't. But hey ho, thank you for thank you for the boost and stuff. It's really weird, but I appreciate it, and I intend to stay genuine and authentic. And if that means that I only post one video a week, I would rather do that because I feel it's what the channel has been about before it had all of this stuff. So I don't want to suddenly start wavering now just because we've had that little bit of an influx. Easy come, easy go in a way, I guess, as well. So it's important not to get caught up in all the numbers, really. Although it looks good for a week, we've had, ridiculous growth in a week. Give it another week and things might not move at all. So it's important not to get caught up in the numbers. It's important to stay authentic and just continue how I was before. That's what got me here. So it'd be stupid to change that even if it took 10 months. I'm not here to race things. I'm not here to become some YouTube millionaire. I'm not here to give advice. I'm just here to share to myself, basically. And if anybody can relate or if anybody can take something from it, so be it. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, really. Cheers.